Hello, Redophiles! We got a great episode coming up for you, but before that, we just want to say, if you haven't done it yet, sign up to our Patreon. There are now tons of exclusive episodes on there that you are going to love. Go to patreon.com/theyearispod. Sign up right now. £3. Not a big deal. Also, I am at Soho Theatre July 5th and 6th in London doing my last tour shows of Cockroach before I take it to the Edinburgh Fringe. Go to bobbymair.net and buy some tickets. Okay, enjoy the app.
The Year Is with Red and Bobby.
Welcome to the Year Is podcast, the podcast where every episode we travel back to a year in history. We talk about the weirdest, the most interesting, the craziest things from that year. I am comedian Bobby Mair. This is my co-host Red Richardson, who was just chastising our producer Jody for taking too long to set up.
I just said we have the same setup every week, but for some reason we have to jiggle around in the beginning.
Yeah, it takes a while. Have you ever done anything technical for this podcast?
I have never done anything technical. I bought the paint for the wall. And I painted it as well.
I seriously though, Red, next week me and Jody are going to sit in my living room and wait for you to set up the cameras.
No, we won't be able to sit very long because you'll be called in here quickly.
Yeah, because you've broken all the cameras and you're crying on the ground.
We're going to Norwich tonight, aren't we, Bobby?
Yeah, we invited Jody. He doesn't want to come, so now we are.
I bought him a cider to come and he's not coming.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
I get it. We're not fun and annoying.
Jody has
people.
a deviant sex life.
Yeah, he needs to get up to what he's going to get up to.
Cottaging.
Are you excited to go to Norwich?
Yeah, I can't wait. I haven't been in ages.
Yeah,
it's my favorite place
I
in the
could
world.
tell you were excited about it when you texted me saying, "Is it canceled tonight?"
No, it's so sunny.
You were just hoping.
It's
You were just
so
hoping
sunny,
it
though.
was canceled.
Well, our wives are going to a festival,
That's true.
a day festival.
Our successful wives aren't
Yeah.
working today.
No, they're not. They're having a well-deserved rest. Rosie's like, yeah, I think we'll just have some ciders in the park. I thought,
You can drink some ciders. We can get you drunk in my car.
okay.
You can drink ciders in my car if
I'll
you
do
want.
some DMT in your car.
Okay, that's a different.
It's too
You're not doing.
much.
I'm not watching you do DMT while I drive, just foaming from the mouth and being like, "I saw my grandfather. He loves me, actually."
Yeah, he forgives me. That's what we were talking about the other day. But when people do ayahuasca and then someone they've wronged, they meet that person in their trip and they apologize. I was listening to a podcast the other day. This guy, he wasn't very nice. This woman, he did ayahuasca, and he said they squared it on his trip. It's like that's not how stuff should work. Do you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I bumped into this boy I killed, and he said, "Don't worry about it. I was suicidal anyway. You actually saved me a trip to the bridge." But no, it's So I was going to say, because I was meant to come with you on Wednesday to, where was it again? Southend.
Yes.
Which I thought I'd be able to double them because I thought Southend was by Margate. It's not. So I missed that. I was sad to miss that. I went to Margate and I bombed worse than I ever have in my life.
I mean, I pretty much bombed in Southend, so because I thought I could open the show and just do the whole show, but me at the very beginning is not very appealing. They need kind of like
They need the sponge to mop up the shit.
Yeah,
me.
Well, I don't know if there's any shit. They just need someone to warm them up.
I don't warm them up though. They just go, "That's over, thank God."
Yeah.
They're just happy to see you.
And then I come on the hero. Whereas me going on at the beginning, it just doesn't. It doesn't work. We found out quite quickly, and then I still had an hour left to do, and it was a tough show. So by you going to Margate to bomb, then what happened was I also bombed. If you would have came to Margate, you would have. Or no, if you would have came to Southend, you would have just bombed in Southend.
I would have, yeah.
And then I would have killed.
Yeah, you would have done well. What was so good though is on the way back, I went on Instagram and I went on the Year Is Pod Instagram account, and there was a message saying, "Hey, if you can inform Bobby that the gig wasn't as bad as he thought it was." And that made me feel, I went, "Oh God, at least he's had a shocker as well." But I bombed so hard, and then I had to wait to get a lift home from the headliner, well, the person who went on last. And I went to they had no urinals, so I went to the loo, and I could hear them waiting for the loo, and I didn't want to go out because it's too awkward because they were trashing me. So I'm just sat in the loo, and they were like, "Oh, this guy's taking ages," and they were talking about how shit I was. So I ran the tap so I couldn't hear them. I could still hear them. I did the hand dryer and everything. It was awful.
And then what did you do? Do you eventually have to open the door and look them in the eyes?
Yeah, and they went, "Oh, here he is." It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Not good. I should have come to Southend.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, thinking about it, maybe I didn't do that bad. You just bombed.
No, it's the worst I've ever done.
No,
I think
did.
the worst.
I did.
What did you
It
guys say?
was a
I
tour show.
like jokes.
It was a tour show. They're all there for me. I just tried to like warm them up with crowd work
Mm-hmm.
and then go into the show.
Mm-hmm.
But the crowd work didn't work. And then I had just started on the wrong foot completely
Yeah.
for my own show.
Mm-hmm.
They're there for me.
Yeah.
And then I've just made it awkward
Yeah.
because I've done stale crowd work off the top. And yeah, it happened.
It's one of the worst feelings in the world, I think.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, Red, it is worse. After you've done 5 minutes, you think, oh, I'm not quite getting them. And you still have an hour and 10 to go.
No, that's horrible. Yeah, that's a lifetime.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Norwich will be good. We'll by the time this comes out, we will know.
We'll either have had a great gig in Norwich and forgot all about this, because that's how comedy works. You forget that about the shitty gig the second you have a good gig. Or we will both be really questioning everything.
Mm-hmm.
But we both have successful wives to fall back on.
Yes, we do, which is good.
At least yours isn't in comedy. That's a better bet.
It's so good, yeah.
Harriet's in comedy, so success is more fragile in comedy, but
But she's doing very well, and she's likable and talented, so she'll have a long career.
Well, not with her energy on this podcast, I would say.
No,
Wasn't very likable.
She was horrific on this podcast.
Yeah, she was. We have to actually, when you're here, we have to bring her back.
We should sue her with Johnny Depp's lawyer, Camille.
Yes.
Is that right, Mrs. Kemsley?
So, you said the podcast isn't historically accurate. That was defamation.
Yeah, and then she insulted people saying, "Oh, anyone who gets their information from this podcast is an idiot."
Yes.
And even though we've got people who are super geniuses listening to this podcast.
Yeah, a new one, actually.
Yeah. Spencer Strikeheart. Thank you very much, Spencer.
Yes.
Super genius. Yeah, no, it's good. They're a lot better than us, and we need to cling on to them for dear life.
But I don't think we get enough credit. I think in general, people don't get enough credit for marrying well.
Yeah.
Like, it's a skill to marry up.
Yeah. It definitely is. It definitely is. And I sort of go, because you hear about things breaking down, I'm like, oh, in 10 years, I'll be 43. And then people get divorced at like 53. So it's like, what will I do, if she decides, oh, wait, actually, this guy's an idiot.
I know, it's terrifying.
Yeah, the sort of person you'd end up with, because it's not great now. In 10 years, it'll be worse. 20 years, it'll be even worse. Imagine being single at 53, having been left, and you go, God, what sort of animal would I end up with?
Just
down the pub, kissing someone by the fruit machine.
Just bleak.
Disgusting.
It's so bleak.
I also, because when you get comfortable with someone, the thought of actually having to pretend that you're not meant, or you're right. Again, it's just also with comedy, we don't have to go into an office or meet anyone, so you just sit in your personality. You're like, yeah.
Like you.
The thought of having to meet someone and just convince them for 6 months that you're not mental before dripping it all out so slowly is exhausting.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do that.
I don't think I could.
Who did you date? How did you date women before Rosie? That's what I like. Rosie
well.
is just like a blanket that wraps herself around you no matter how you're doing.
Yes.
How did other women react to you?
Not well. They couldn't handle the IQ. It's hard dating someone with an IQ of 195.
Yeah, that's a different part of your delusion. But how, like, was it combative?
Yeah.
I don't mean like physically. Did you hit them?
No. Look, there was one. No, well, it was just sort of. But the thing is, when you're young, you sort of have just immature, toxic relationships.
Yeah, I just had horrible. Like, none of my exes like me.
Yeah, I can't imagine you with anyone but Harriet. Sort of.
I can.
Yeah. I do regularly. No, I get on my
I can
mates.
imagine just being with someone who, like, when I say, like, when I say something, they go, really? Wow, that'd be cool. Rather than just, oh, cool.
It was funny when we went to Thailand and we got in to the hotel. Rosie just stuck her head underwater and didn't come up for like 30 seconds. And she came up. I was like, "You're right." And she's like, "That was the first time I haven't had to hear your voice." It's like just some sort of peace underwater.
That's yeah. When listen, it's not that I don't love you, Red. It's just sometimes I prefer drowning.
Yeah. Well, like, I was so mental on because I was terrified of getting corona. Like, I hand sanitized her hands when she was asleep because she'd gotten a drink from the, like, when they come past with the trolley. She woke up and I was sanitizing her hands. Fucking mental. But,
What did she say?
she's just like, what is wrong with you? I was so bad. I was just terrified. I didn't sleep for like 26 hours. And by the end of it, I was going mad.
I remember because we talked about this, but when you called me and you were like, "Hey, how are you?" and I was like, "This Red went to Thailand and got insane."
Yeah.
Like, your tone of voice was just like, and you're just like, "How's it going with you?" And I'm like, "You're on your honeymoon. Why are we doing this right now?"
I told you about the couple I met did I talk about that last week? We met this couple and they're nice people, but they had a pool in their hotel, so we went and swam in it on the first night. And I said to the lady, where can I use, where's your toilet? She goes, I'll just piss in the corner. That's what I do. And we've been in there for 20 minutes. It was like a bath-sized pool, like tiny, half the size of this room. And it's like, I'd been like going around doing like bubbles, like, I woke up the next day and vomited. I was puking up bile.
Just thinking about it.
Yeah, it was disgusting. So disgusting.
Just puking, thinking about
Also, like, go in the corner. It's like, you know how water works. It's not like that's just going to be piss in that corner.
What a gross woman.
No, she was, quite the...
What was her husband saying?
Not much. He was kind of like... he was the one who said, the family said he looked like Tom Cruise. But he was kind of... So he had kids from another relationship. And she said this line, because the more drunk she got, she just kept repeating herself. And she was like, and his ex came up to me and said, he's changed since he's been with you. And I said, he hasn't changed, darling. He's become who he was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you've said that in the hairdressers and the pub. Like, that's, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, he's become who he's meant to be.
Yeah.
And they just started telling us about the kids, and she was like, the mother's just a tramp. And I was like, oh, fair enough.
Sounds like a fucking tramp.
Yeah.
The best thing is, though, whenever a guy will convince the ex, like, or the new girlfriend, like, my ex is terrible. She's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, like, 5 years later, the current woman is miserable. Because and then that's when you realize, oh, the ex wasn't crazy.
No, there's so many
It's
people like
this
that.
guy.
Also, the new terminology, it's not new, but it's become more mainstream, like narcissist, gaslighter. I always meet these people, we know them, who are like, oh, this person's a narcissistic psychopath. They know all the lingo, and it's like, and then you sort of go, actually, wait, there's like 10 people that you're accusing of.
Yeah. If you're calling everyone in your life a narcissistic psychopath, you're the narcissist.
Yeah, usually.
Also, psychopath, narcissist is a fun label, especially in comedy. There's a lot of narcissists.
Yeah, huge.
But, like, psychopath, that should be reserved for, like, I think you can only call, like, 3 people in your life as psychopaths, you know?
Yeah, and they have to do something like, fucking murder a dog in front of you.
Yeah.
You can't just, like, not turn up to your birthday.
Although I can think of what, like, sometimes they're non-violent. Like, I know one guy, and I do genuinely feel like if he saw me die, he would just be like, oh, Bobby's dead. Anyways.
There's people like that.
Like, he wouldn't mention it when he got home.
There's loads of people like that in comedy. Loads of people. It's funny in the Johnny Depp trial because they're like both trying to get in these like Dr. Nick psychiatrists to come and say like
Dr. Nick.
But they're like, oh, he's a narcissist. It's like, of course he's a narcissist. He's an actor.
Yeah.
He's been famous for 40 years.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, he dressed up as a pirate for £35 million.
Yeah, you would think you're pretty great.
Yeah, I would, definitely. And she's like a attractive lady who's a millionaire. Like, it'd be weird if they weren't.
It's going to be, when the verdict comes out, it might already be out. By the time this episode comes out.
Oh, it will be, yeah.
We'll know.
We will know. Spooky.
Should we go back to 1866?
Yeah, we should.
That's where we're going this episode. You chose the year.
I did. I don't know why.
And then did none of the research.
I didn't.
So I have all the information.
Thank you very much.
But you did it last week.
Okay, I did.
I feel like that's equal distribution of labor. And next week you're setting up the cameras, so that'll be good too. It'd be really fun to see you set up 3 cameras.
You just press play.
The thing is, Jody, if Red does it and it takes him 5 minutes, and then he hits record,
You're
it's
fired.
a risky game for you. It's a risky game, Jody. What if he does it? What if Red's a technical genius?
It's like we're filming Lord of the Rings every week here with Jody. I'm sorry, Jody.
Yeah, well, it will save me a lot of time then.
Yeah.
It'll save all of us a lot of time. Just come in and press record. Yeah.
Who knew?
Well, we could cut your hand off and have it on a stick and just press record every week.
Cut your hand off and have it on a stick.
And then you wouldn't have to come in.
Where did you think of that as an image?
I was just looking at his hand.
Yeah, I have nice hands.
You're
Yeah.
just going, you can stay at home and thanks, Jody. You won't have a hand, but you won't have to come in. But I appreciate it, you, Jody. Thank you. Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, I can tell. Sorry, I'm not drinking the cider.
I got Jody aside. He's not drinking it. And he's not coming to Norwich with us, but fair enough. Okay, 1866.
So, the thing about 1866 is,
Mm.
it's like the middle of the 19th century.
That's what everyone says about it.
A lot of the fun stuff. I just realized you were insulting me.
No,
I was getting into it. I was starting a point. And then that's what everyone says about it. Just dig at me right away.
No, I'm sorry.
Just dig at me.
I'm sorry for the.
I think you're still upset because last week you got called out when you said something about a study. What did you say?
There's studies on it.
Yeah, you said there's some studies, and then Tim was like, some studies.
Yes, it was.
So I think you're coming from a defensive position because of that.
No, I was.
Okay, well, what I was gonna say was, it's like a lot was going on.
Mm-hmm.
That is what people say. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just get right into it. In 1866, the SS Great Eastern successfully completed laying the transatlantic telegraph cable between Valentia Island in Ireland and Heart's Content in Newfoundland, Canada, permanently restoring a communications link.
So I don't get what you mean. So it was like
They laid a wire from Ireland to Canada.
that's mental. Under the sea.
In the 19th century.
That's crazy.
That would then allow people to telegram between there.
That is mental.
And also, do you know how annoying it would be if you had moved to Canada
To get away.
to get away from your family? Some people move to other continents for a reason. They want a fresh start. They don't want to talk to their family all the time. Maybe once a year via letter, you know? Maybe they're kind of happy with COVID restrictions because they can't fly back to Canada. Maybe they're really liking it, you know? And then some cunt comes along and he's like, well, now we've built this telegram wire and they can send you telegrams every week.
Fuck, yeah, that's... And so how did they lay it? Where, under the sea? Is that... Am I being stupid?
Yeah, it's a wire that goes under the sea.
That's mental.
I don't know how...
I have an alarm set for 11:50 a.m. And there's people who have done this. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever feel like you've contributed nothing?
In the 19th century, the
Yes.
middle of the 19th century, they lay a wire
That's fucking
that
mental.
goes like 2,000 miles. I don't know how they make this wire.
Yeah, and what's...
I guess on the ships, they just have spools and spools of wire.
And it's just someone's job to... But how do you... Like, the middle of the Atlantic could be thousands of feet deep.
But that doesn't matter. It can go to the bottom. It doesn't really matter if it's at the bottom. It's because you think of how the bottom of the ocean works and then goes slowly up.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah. God.
It will sink itself.
But
It'll
they
just
didn't even have
fall.
a snorkel back then, probably.
No, I don't. I think they did have snorkels, but they don't need to go all the way to the bottom. They'll just fall to the bottom. That's how gravity works.
Yeah. Gravity. Okay, yeah. So they just drop it in.
Yeah. It'd still be boring as fuck, and it would take years.
That's mental, because on one episode we talked about the hot dog trail that lasted 100 miles. It's like, why are you doing... It's a waste of food, and people have done so much cooler than this.
Yeah.
Like, this is pointless. Ireland to Canada. Yeah, that's seriously impressive. It's I've met people who work in that. You know that job where you go in the gold metal suit, and they drop you to...
Yeah.
There's people who it takes like 7 days to get to the bottom of the ocean because they have to go slowly because of the water pressure. And so but you're just sat there for 7 days.
Oh, here
I
we
hope
go.
they get podcasts.
This is horrible, though. So in 1865, they tried to do it, right? There was a second cable that was put down. So this was actually the third cable.
What was that for Wi-Fi?
Yeah. So the SS Great Eastern starts laying it. More than halfway across, the cable broke. And after
Fuck.
many rescue attempts, was abandoned. And
Yeah,
then they just had to start again.
of course. That's horrendous.
You know, fucking, you'd be like, no! It took, like, that was
Yeah.
a year of their life.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then okay, we'll just start again. And then the third time worked. And then they were sending telegrams.
Do you wonder if anyone got eaten by a shark whilst they were laying the cable?
Oh, I don't know.
They could have been.
That's a very specific wonder.
Yeah.
Not even really searchable.
No, no. Well, you can. You just Google, was someone eaten by a shark whilst laying a cable in 1866?
I guess.
There's an answer for everything. I Google stuff all the time, and I always wonder who answers this. Do you know what I mean? Like, when you're like, why does my feet look like this? And someone's gone and written a thing. Like, it's just a sort of, I'm going to give back to the world by sort of explaining weird stuff.
Yeah.
Everything is Googleable.
Everything is Googleable.
Mm.
But then you ever Google something and it's like no one's asked that before, and you feel like the stupidest man alive.
And the police turn up.
Yeah, because you're stupid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But you can Google, like, does Marmite go with spaghetti? And someone will have written, no, it doesn't. I tried this. You know, it's everything. There's everything on the internet. It's bad to be stupid now, isn't it? Before you'd have to cycle like 12 miles to a library.
I don't know. Like,
Well, you could also just talk shit and no one could call you out on it, I suppose.
but these telegram cables, right? Once they got up and going, then they just laid lots of them.
Mhm.
Like a new one in 1873, 1874, 1880, 1894. And by the end of the 19th century, the British, French, and German and American-owned cables linked Europe and North America in like this sophisticated web of telegraphic communication. And you could just send telegrams everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that, early on. But so you just type out something and go, hey,
You go,
amazing. That's pretty good, like Telegram now.
yeah, what would it, yeah,
Or like WhatsApp.
it was like WhatsApp, but you'd have to go
Mm.
to like an office to send your WhatsApp.
Probably better that way, so you can't just at 4 a.m. receive mental WhatsApps from people. Someone's
Yeah.
just sounding off. It's funny when I've got people who message me and then I wake up and there'll be 10 messages all deleted. And it'll be like 3 in the morning. You're like, what was said there?
I love
Probably better, I don't
love
know.
whenever I see someone has sent a message then deleted it. You
Mm.
know they had like a real like tough time
Mhm,
in the
mhm.
15 seconds between that message being sent
Yeah.
and deleted.
Yeah, they went, oh, is that right? I don't know. No, I've got to stick up.
Oh, God, I've offended them.
Yeah. It's always funny when you see a tweet and then you go to see it again and it's just gone. That was the right idea.
But now with Twitter,
Mm.
if you click on it, like whenever there's like a really tasty tweet from
Mhm.
a politician, you know, they'll delete it right away. But you click on it, it'll still show you the tweet and say this tweet has been deleted.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, it hasn't because you're showing it to me. What does deleted mean then?
Everything just has to stay now. It's bad. I feel sorry for kids. They sort of everything is going to be forever. It's like carving out something on a stone. Like it's never gone.
My phone died and I had like 3 hours without a phone like a couple weeks ago. And I felt a sense of calm I haven't felt in years.
Really? Yeah, I get a bit weird with that. It's terrible.
These things are horrible.
I got on the plane and I downloaded some podcasts on Spotify, and my Spotify just wouldn't load on the plane for some reason. And I nearly burst into tears, which is so pathetic.
That does sound more like a you issue.
Yeah. I think that's me. But no, it's just like, oh God, I'm not going to be able to listen to, and I put podcasts on all the time, even ones I don't like. There's probably someone listening to this now and they don't even like it. It's just a
I'm
noise
fine
for
with
them.
that. It's just like an annoying background noise.
Yeah. And they go, oh, it just makes me feel better because...
I listen to podcasts sometimes where the guy's a bad interview, and I'm really annoyed by the way he interviews.
When they interrupt and stuff.
But
The worst is when
I'm
someone's about to
okay.
say something juicy and the person interrupts. You know, what are you doing?
I'm okay with being that podcast for people.
Yeah. Have us on while you're in the bath or you're doing the washing up, whatever. You don't have to love us.
But you should.
Yeah. You should sign up for the Patreon as well.
Patreon.com/TheYearIsPod.
My mate Harry is actually going to Canada, on island off Canada. It's called the most dangerous island in the world. I saw the trailer for the show. He's producing a TV show. And they go, this island is only accessible by boat or plane. And you're like, yeah. Like England. yeah, you know what I mean? It's such a weird thing to say.
That's so funny.
But they're trying to...
yeah, that's why it's an island.
yeah, it's just like mental. Jet ski. They're trying to...
This island is accessible by road. It is, in fact, a peninsula.
Yeah. But they're trying to heat a whole town, or like electricity off this volcano. Yeah, so that could be the new breakthrough in science.
I mean, it would have went wrong a couple times though. You know,
First, of course.
They're like, okay, we're just gonna live near the volcano. Okay, we lost a couple people because the volcano ate them, so we're gonna move away now. And try to harvest.
Well, I don't think anyone actually lives on this island. It's like got 50-mile-per-hour winds and stuff. It looks shit.
I don't mind that.
Really?
Yeah, whatever. You know,
We just sit inside.
Yeah.
They're mental.
Just in a bunker, waiting for the volcano to blow. Telegrams, yeah. I think it would be. I wish we could all just get back to like writing a letter once a month
I haven't
to
written a
people
letter
who
for
I don't live
years.
near.
Yeah. How are you? The boys are doing well. We had our first crop of the season. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
And then, like, because you think of how you call someone, you talk to them on the phone for like 40 minutes. It's so hard for it to mean anything.
Yeah.
Whereas if instead you wrote them a one-page letter, all you would need to do is write down a few sentences with kind of a lot of kindness and empathy in those sentences.
And they keep the letters.
And they would read that, and it would mean so much.
Yeah.
As opposed to speaking to them on the phone and just saying, like, I hope you're doing well. And they're like, yeah, great. You know, what does that mean?
Well, your only friends would be close friends, because you wouldn't, back in the day when you'd get a horse for 2 days to go see a mate, you wouldn't have any acquaintances. You know what I mean? It was just you'd be all in.
Yeah. Seems better. Simpler. I like that black and white. Like, I know you and you're my friend, or you're not.
Yeah. Would you ride 2 days to see me?
I feel like now it's a world of acquaintances.
Yeah. You're just in WhatsApp groups with someone you barely know. And it's just so easy. Now people do voice notes. They can't even be bothered to type the words.
Maybe that'd be great. I'm just going to get a thing where people can only telegram me.
Yeah.
Because, like, records have came back, right? Like vinyl.
Yeah.
Do you think Telegram could make it?
Send notes. You just send a letter to people.
Like, everyone gets their own Telegram machine.
Yeah. I like the old typewriters.
Yeah.
Because it always would.
Do you think you'll become one of those losers that writes on a typewriter?
No. I just write on my phone.
It's just funny to sit and write a joke on your phone about how your phone is fucking up
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
The phone's like, I don't care as long as you're putting something in me.
Yeah. That's all it needs. That's all it needs. What else was on the 1866?
Well, are you gonna like this? Okay. So, Paraguay successfully defends.
Paraguay.
It's a country.
Paraguay.
Paraguay.
Is that what you say in Canada?
I don't know.
Paraguay.
You'd say Paraguay.
What do you say, Jody?
Yeah, Paraguay. I've completely forgotten that. I'm so confused by what you guys are saying. Paraguay.
Yeah. Okay, Paraguay.
Paraguay.
The dancer, Paraguay.
Successfully defends Curupayty against the Triple Alliance in the Paraguayan War, killing more than 5,000 people with 50 casualties.
That's a good output, isn't it?
I mean, it's it was a massacre. But I'm impressed.
Who were the 5,000? Were they children?
So I'm gonna read the story of the battle
Okay.
because it's an impressive. So a little bit of kind of backstory. It was a key battle in the Paraguayan War, right?
Mm-hmm.
So on the morning of September 22nd, 1866, the joint forces of Brazilian, Argentinian, and Paraguayan armies attacked the Paraguayan fortified trenches on Curupayty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's where we're at. So all these countries are attacking Paraguay.
Mm-hmm.
Paraguay.
It sounds like a prostitute.
It doesn't sound like a prostitute.
No, it sounds like a new wife, mail order. My wife, Paraguay.
I don't even know what that means.
Some 60-year-old man from
It's
Ipswich
just how I say the
comes
country.
back from with Paraguay.
So the 22nd of September attack started with a bombardment by Admiral Joaquin,
Okay.
his fleet, right? At 7 a.m., which lasted until noon, but with little effect. So these ships from from Argentina, Brazil, and Uruguay are just bombarding the fuck out of the Paraguayan forces, like bombing them.
And they're all
right?
countries in South America, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeast. So they're bombarding the fuck out of Paraguay, and they think it's going great.
Okay.
They really think they're killing it, you know?
Mm.
Despite firing 5,000 bombs and shells, only one Paraguayan gun was damaged.
That's not
So
good.
I don't know how that happened, but
Yeah.
they thought we've decimated them, right? We have the numbers, we've done it.
Mm-hmm.
So then they start a land attack, thinking
Oh, that's brilliant.
it's gonna be great. So and then it gets worse. So Bartholomew Mitre warned that the Imperial fleet had finished his cannonade, and assuming that the Paraguayan positions were to be destroyed, he ordered the advance. So he thought, Paraguay, they're fucking done. Let's get in there, right? The right wing was composed of 2 columns of Argentinians. The left wing was composed of 2 columns of Brazilians. And in the center were Brazilians. Okay. So General Jordao, he was to attack the defenses with 20,000 Brazilians. And then they're going to take some cavalry in. And it was, they thought this is going to go great. And then Diaz ordered the artillery to fire at them. And it didn't work out. So they
You
still
got smashed.
They still had their artillery, you know.
Yeah.
And then they killed 5,000 people.
Yeah.
It's gotta really suck when you're in the.
Well, you think you've done it, and then you get there and you're smashed.
Yeah, and that's what happened. And then there was a cholera epidemic. That can't be good.
No, that's not good at all.
You just watch all your friends die, then you get cholera.
Yeah.
I don't
What's the symptoms of that? I don't know.
The thing is, I don't even know what cholera is, so that'd be annoying to have a disease I don't even know what it is.
Well, isn't it water? Like, it's a water disease, isn't it? You get from bad water, Jody?
I think so, yeah, because there was the kind of bad cholera kind of outbreak that was in London, wasn't there? And
We've had it here.
I think so. And there's
Really?
then that was tracked down to a pump by the John Snow pub in Soho. I think that's
I was
what
there
that
yesterday.
was. Yeah, how are you
Actually was.
feeling?
I'm all right. A bit weird. Fucking hell. Yeah, they had the Spanish flu after the First World War as well, didn't they?
What? Who?
All over Europe. Spain.
Wait, you didn't even know what you were saying.
Well, no,
there.
everyone died, didn't they? After World War One, you got to get back and you go, I survived a bullet, and then you get.
Oh, I see what you mean in terms of diseases after war.
Yeah, and it was American disease, and they just called it the Spanish flu.
I don't know if it was an American. They don't know
That's
where
what
it
I
came
heard
from.
anyway.
It wasn't an American disease.
Hey, Jody, can you do some Googling?
What, do you listen to Chinese propaganda?
No, I think it first found in America, and they called it the Spanish flu just to
It was
sort of deflect the
They
blame.
think in retrospect it was like the common cold we have now. It was a coronavirus.
Oh, okay. Yeah, is coronavirus over now? How do you feel about it? It's over for me.
I have moved on.
I've moved on. The head of the WHO the other day was like, "Oh, the pandemic's not over, by the way," and you're like, "Shut the fuck up." Have you ever said any good news before? Ever?
Well, he's a health organization. He's not going to say like, "Hey, yeah, sure, you
mm.
all look great and you're going to live along." His job is to give bad news.
But they didn't even. They were like, "It's not transmittable from human to human." That's what they said in January the 15th.
Okay, well, they made some mistakes.
They are
Red.
very bad at their job.
Well, I don't know. I've never ran a World Health Organization. Have you? It's probably hard.
Well, yeah, but they're clearly hard. But coronavirus obviously can be transmitted, and how would it spread if it couldn't?
I don't know, Red.
We'd all have to fuck the bat.
Yeah. Yeah, Red. People are going to listen to this and be like, when was this recorded? In 2020? Was this recorded in April of 2020? No, it's 2 years later and we're talking about fucking bats.
I know.
Red still wants to know.
Anyway,
last week we talked
Paraguay.
about HIV and Red said, "Who fucked the monkey?"
Oh,
and
I did, didn't I?
This
God.
week, Red
I saw a tweet, someone going, "Remember all the hack jokes about fucking a monkey?" And I was like, "Oh, whoops."
Did they say that about you?
No, it wasn't about me. It was just about shit comedians in general. And I went, I just talked about it on the podcast. No, I didn't. I more said that when I was younger, I was led to believe that that's how it happened.
I understand. I'm just saying. Last week you talked about, okay, so HIV, fucking monkey. This week you're talking about fucking a bat. What is there any other diseases that you think come from animals, and if so, what are they? And
the plague,
the bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Who fucked what for the bubonic plague?
A man put a rat in his bum.
You think that's how
it happened? Yeah. No, that was from rats.
Well, fleas.
And rats.
Well, the fleas on the backs of rats.
Yeah, and the rats ran everywhere with it. They were the spreaders of the bad news. Rats. I met someone the other day who had a pet rat. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Would you ever have one?
No, I hate rats. They're my least favorite animal.
Have you ever held like a domesticated rat?
No, never. I wouldn't go near one. I absolutely despise them. I think they're gross.
What about mice?
Don't like them either, but can deal with it. When we were in Devon, there was a mice invasion, and they were just everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's just gross. You see them like running along the counter and stuff, just everywhere. They're little field mice. So they're quite, they've got big ears and they're a lot sweeter than the urban rats we get around here. Weirdly, your house used to be a rat colony.
That's not true. There was a couple rats. We got rid of them.
Yeah. You had to come stay at mine because you were kicked out of your house by rats.
That may have happened, yes.
But they're not here anymore.
No.
I wonder if Sonny, your dog, would be able to eat a rat, like kill it.
I don't know what Sonny would do with a rat, but
he'd probably throw it at me.
The other day I was walking him, and then we just came face to face with a fox.
Oh, really? What did he do?
He didn't notice.
That's not great.
I was like, Sonny, like he always barks at like other dogs, but it's like, no, this is what you should be barking at. This guy.
He's the sort of dog that like lick a burglar,
Yeah, he only would. He'd bark at the burglar, but the burglar would pet him and then he'd lick him.
Yeah. Yeah, not exactly a protect. What's it called? Guard dog. Yeah.
A protect dog. Not exactly protect dog.
Spanish flu, a misnomer that started in Spain originally. Earliest documented case was in Kansas.
Thank you. Earliest documented case of Spanish flu. We've heard it from Jody. From my brain to Jody's hands onto the Google. I was right. It started in Kansas.
I think it came from China.
Yeah, it could have come from China. God knows. Oh, did you see? Oh, it's terrible. But obviously horrible shooting in America. But this lady on Twitter today was like, we didn't ban planes after 9/11.
Oh, yeah, lowering.
It's so bad. That's like the dumbest. It's like, yeah, they stopped people being able to bring knives on planes.
Yes.
Like no one's ever used a gun for anything but shooting people. Even knives have uses outside of violence.
Yeah, it does seem obvious.
What the problem is.
Well, to us.
Yeah.
But we
want our freedom.
They want their freedom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would you have a gun?
depends on the context.
In America, if you just lived in Colorado or something.
Does everyone else have a gun?
Yeah. You don't want to look like an idiot.
Maybe.
Mm.
I probably just wouldn't live there.
No, I wouldn't send my kids to school in America. It'd be too weird. Every weird-looking white guy, you just go, oh, no, thank you.
Yeah. It's weird because it's like they're so... Like, our psychopaths, like, I think in the UK, the psychopaths just kill, like, one person.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone notices, like, oh, that guy's insane.
Yeah.
Like,
and
they
get
take...
caught.
Because it's really hard. I would say nearly impossible to be a serial killer now.
We've had a few, but not for a while. Also, crime's so hard now because everyone's, just everything is filmed.
Yes.
Like, imagine trying to be a mob boss now. You can't do anything.
Impossible.
Impossible.
This kind of, like, the kind of personality, because in the 90s, there was this, like, brief period of time after Columbine where people were like, oh, they were bullied. It was hard for them. And it's like, no, they were psychopaths.
Yes.
It's lots of people are bullied.
Yeah, of course.
I like, come on. Everyone's been bullied. It's not about being bullied. It is they were born different. Their brain chemistry is not the same as ours.
Yeah.
And they're like just finding the most horrific thing they can do. Good.
Did you see the NRA didn't have guns at their meeting?
So funny.
Because they were worried about being shot. It's
so
fucking
funny.
mental. And the Ted Cruz interviews, like, stop trying to make this political. It's like, it is it's literally a law.
Yeah, politics.
Yeah, it's a law. It's political. And he's like, you got your agenda. It's like, America's still the freest, safest place to be. It's like, yeah, not if you're a 6-year-old in school. You fucking lunatic.
It's not.
They just won't have it, will they? It's like nothing. It could happen every day, and they're just like, no.
They won't. No, they're obsessed.
It'd be weird because I just, you see police with guns here, and it's fucking intimidating, isn't it, when you see a machine gun?
Probably more so if it was being shot at you.
Yes. But the fact that anyone can just have one in their house. Like, you go to someone's house and they've got like a room full of machine guns.
It would make you be nicer to everybody.
You probably would be nicer. But also, it's like,
in the short term.
how much do you want to keep your laptop? Or, because it's like, oh, we might get robbed. And it's like, yeah, to be honest, I wouldn't be willing to shoot a 14-year-old drug addict. I'd let them have the telly. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. Once someone's in my home, I'm not like asking their age.
No, but what you just shoot?
I'm not saying I would just shoot. I don't want a gun. I don't want to live anywhere where.
But you left your house when there were rats here, so I think you'd give the burglar your home. You got me. Here's the keys.
But you can't fight the rats.
No.
Rats are. The thing about a rat is they won't square up to you one-on-one. They wait till you're asleep and then they bite your face.
Yeah.
So that's what's terrifying.
Rosie's friend woke up and there was a rat on her face when she was asleep and it just scuttled off. It's like that would ruin my life.
Yeah, I don't think I could ever sleep again.
No, it's absolutely horrific.
Are you ready for the next mind-blowing fact? Okay. In 1866, Alfred Nobel invents dynamite in Germany.
And is he Nobel as in the Nobel Peace Prize?
What do you think?
Possibly. It'd be funny if I thought you were going to say Alfred Nobel invented the Nobel Peace Prize. He invents dynamite. That's such a weird, because you go, what if I could just was explode even a word before dynamite? Well, I suppose volcanoes exploding. Yeah. It's a sex term.
So he invented dynamite and also invented the word explode on the same
he's
day.
Like, we need a word for this. Explode. Fuck, that's pretty cool invention. What was it? It's like the guy who invented the atom bomb. It's like, I am the god of the universe. That mental person. What's he called?
Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer, yeah.
I know. I am Shiva, the destroyer of nations. It's a great speech.
Yeah, but it's just like, thanks, mate.
It.
Now we have Putin because you fucking piece of shit.
Well, the war. He did end the war.
It's funny that the West are the only people who've dropped an atom bomb ever, and we're just terrified that people are going to be as bad as we were. Do you hear about the guy who dropped Hiroshima and Nagasaki? One of them committed suicide, and the other one became a priest. rough day at the office.
One of them became a priest.
Yeah, and the other one hung himself. Yeah, because it's kind of like that on your CV. Trying to get a job at Morrison's. Where did you work before? I dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Couldn't be a TikToker after that, can you? Kind of cancelled.
Maybe you could.
Yeah, maybe.
Just about how to live with tough stuff.
It's just a self-help book. Don't let work. I see it as a 9 to 5. The minute I clock off, I don't think about it. Yeah, go on then. So how did he do it? Or do we not know? I know not to ask questions on this podcast. Our research is limited and the whole thing's a fucking shambles.
No, so pretty much nitroglycerin already existed, which was very explosive. But he found that if he put it into like an absorbent substance, then it became safer and more convenient to handle. And then he called that dynamite. So he pretty much took something that was super explosive, made it a bit, and then made it easier to use. Because nitroglycerin, if you didn't know what it was going to do.
So it's kind of like making Facebook after, making Instagram after Facebook. You know what I mean? Yeah, slight move.
Yeah, slight move. But so he invented it, and then, he made a ton of money. And mostly dynamite wasn't used for war at the time. It was mostly, construction and building a road and a mount, like.
Did you ever used to use French bangers as a child? The sticks of dynamite. I don't know if anyone else calls them French bangers. I bought them in France, but they used to have those big ones. They're called Bison 5s. They were like this size. And I bought some in France, and me and my brothers went to a campsite with my mum and dad and my sister. And me and my brother let one off the minute we got there. And this campsite owner just came over and was like, leave. Like, we literally just
Really?
Yeah, because we didn't know it was going to be that loud. It was like, shh. And then it just went, boom.
And they just kicked you off?
Yeah, kicked you off straight away.
Why?
Because it's like, it's not great if the first thing you do when you
Did
arrive
they
at
kick your parents off?
Yeah. They were like, you guys have to go. If the first thing you do when you arrive at a campsite is let off a French banger, it's kind of like, this isn't going to...
What did your parents say?
Just like, that was fucking stupid. We didn't know it was going to be that loud because you have the little ones, but we got the Bison 5, which is a big boy.
How old were you?
7, 8. I loved them.
It just seems rude to kick children.
Also, you can only buy them in France. I used to buy stink bombs from there, these glass ones.
Stink bombs?
Yeah, I did do a thing. I'm not sure if I told it on the podcast before. I used to have a packed lunch. And so one day at the school canteen, they opened the door and there's this bolt that goes in. I lifted the bolt and put a stink bomb there. So when the dinner lady pushed the door open, it was a glass thing. It just knocked the top off. They had to close the canteen.
Did they know it was you?
No. I was a mastermind criminal.
Did they figure out it was a stink bomb?
Yeah, obviously. Everyone knows exactly.
Well, they might have just thought it was stink.
No, because they stink so much. People vomit. Actually vomit. It's disgusting.
So the reason the Nobel Peace Prize exists, the Nobel Prizes, there's more than just the Nobel Peace Prize. That's the one that Obama got for droning people into peace,
Yeah.
Obama did enough drone strikes that they nominated him.
Yeah. There's been some dodgy winners. Who else won it? Greta?
Yeah, Greta. No, she's been nominated a bunch, hasn't won.
Like DiCaprio.
She should,
She's won now. She's just got to crawl through the snow.
Yeah.
She kind of is like DiCaprio from The Revenant, isn't she? Her life is just miserable. Who else won who's now bad? There's some bad ones, haven't there? The lady, what's she called? I always say her name wrong. Myanmar Massacre.
Oh, yeah. Aung San Suu Kyi.
Yeah.
Love her. We've talked about her before, but Aung San Suu Kyi is a great time.
She's just proof that no matter how old you are, follow your dreams. You can change career, you know?
Yeah, they're putting her back in jail now forever.
Fuck.
So the regime let her out, let her be in charge, let her do some horrible shit, and then when people kind of stopped caring as much, they just threw her back in jail for the rest of her old life.
Yeah, there's some dodgy ones that you're like, they still won it, and you're like, maybe you should stop.
Yeah, but the reason, so he had made up like countless millions, like a rich man. And in 1888, his brother Ludwig died, right? But then when they wrote the obituaries, they got confused and thought Alfred Nobel died. So then he was reading all these shitty obituaries of
That's
himself.
So funny. What's weird is that the Peace Prize is named after a man who invented dynamite.
Well, that's the whole point. It's not named after. He started it.
Okay.
So when they're writing these obituaries, they said one of them said, "The merchant of death is dead." And another one said, Dr. Alfred Nobel, who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before, died yesterday.
That seems fair.
So he read the obituary and was appalled at the idea he'd be remembered this way. So he didn't know that. You know,
that's such good. He deserved that, to know how he'd be remembered, you know?
His decision then was to posthumously donate the majority of his wealth to found the Nobel Prize.
Oh, okay.
Credited with him wanting to leave a better legacy behind. So then he took 31 million Swedish kroner, which converts to 1.6 million pounds at the time.
Yeah.
And obviously,
that'd be billion now, probably.
It is, yeah. Throws it into an investment fund and says, hey, use this money to give out scientific prizes for just...
Maybe we should do that to people now. Pretend they're dead and write... If you instead of interventions, you just get everyone who knows the person to write what they'd write in their obituary and just make them read it. Because I wonder, with Hitler, it's he never got. It's such a shame that he never got to know what a piece of shit everyone would think he was. I wonder when he died, did he know?
I don't think.
No.
I don't think his brain worked that way.
No, I suppose not.
So yeah, and then he was dead, so we never really got to see the Nobel Prize thing play out, but that was his legacy.
Nice. I might write an obituary for you.
You
podcaster who regularly called Red fat too much on the podcast and probably should have stopped. No, you haven't. This is the longest we've gone in 6 years. You should win a prize.
You've called me a fox.
I called you a mangy fox once.
Twice.
That was in response to probably being called fat about 3,000 times on the pod. Fat shamed. It's weird how the fat body positivity movement hasn't reached men yet. Have you noticed that? It's like Lizzo, everyone's like, she's such a bad bitch, she's slaying. And fat men just aren't allowed in. No one's like, kill king, you're killing it.
Well, the thing is, you told me that people called you fat in Thailand, so it really did make it seem like a you
but they're
problem
all so
more than a me
skinny.
problem.
If I moved to America, I'd be ripped. They're so skinny there, but they don't have a thing being fat because it's like they're not gluttons, you know. I'm a product of the West.
You're a product of the West.
Yes.
What is the West has done this?
Greed, indulgence, all of it. Yeah.
It's all the West's fault.
Yeah. I'm the opposite of the blue people in Avatar.
So, I think what you mean is you're the soldiers in Avatar.
Yes.
Who are trying to kill the blue people and steal their resources.
Yeah. I'm the guy from Jurassic Park in the yellow rain jacket who's trying to steal the DNA. No, it's...
and you don't want me to point that out?
No, just 10 times an episode. Maybe once.
Haven't even done it? Didn't even do this episode?
Haven't done it today. Okay, give us another one then. Mm-hmm. Paraguay. Uruguay.
I was wondering how he's going to say Uruguay.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be funny if he said
just
Uruguay,
said
but Paraguay.
And then artillery. Around the world with Bobby Mair. Australia.
Paraguay.
We're going to Paraguay. Go on, sorry.
In 1866,
Yep.
the first daylight bank robbery in the United States history during peacetime takes place in Liberty, Missouri. They committed by Jesse James and his gang.
I love Jesse James.
Yeah.
Cool life. Do you reckon when it was happening, someone turned to someone else and went, that's daylight robbery, that is?
Yeah.
Yeah. But fair play to him. No one was expecting it. I would have loved to have been an outlaw. It seems like a cool life. They always had a gang of mates.
Well, the thing is, I think it would be you need probably. I feel like that the reason they're doing it would be some kind of innovation with like a weapon. Like that's not clear in the article, but before like like an old school musket, you know?
We just have a handgun.
Yep. But what I'm saying is the reason I think you probably couldn't rob a bank before then was you just have a musket and you'd be like slowly loading it for like 2 minutes to then threaten people, you know?
But why is that different in the day? It's not going to be faster at night.
Okay, what at night, no one's at the bank.
So they sort of
So when you rob a bank at night,
drill in, get the cash.
yes, and leave.
Give me all your money.
When you rob a bank in the daytime, you need a weapon that you can hold a group of people hostage with. That which wasn't available until we had, you know, a handgun.
There's a yeah. So you go in, mask on. We'd be great. They didn't have to do that's what men did instead of podcasts back then. You just rob a bank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You just run in. There's a local sheriff. He's getting shot if he turns up. Give me the money. Jody's the getaway driver. Jump in with the bags of cash, and we go to our hideout. There's a good film about Jesse James with Brad Pitt. Have you seen that? With Casey Affleck, who's amazing in that film. The murder of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford, is it called?
It's a great movie.
That's so good. There's a bit when he lists all the things they have in common. And he's like, we have the same birthday. Your favorite color is blue. My favorite color is blue. I don't think he says any of that, but it's kind of along those lines. What's it called?
The Assassination of Jesse James by the
Coward Robert Ford. Yeah, it's fucking great, that film. Brad Pitt's amazing in that film. And Casey Affleck is so good in that film. He's a brilliant actor, Casey Affleck. Few things spinning around about him, but, you know, I wish him well. Amazing actor. I watched him in Manchester on Lee, or whatever it's called. On Sea. Manchester on Sea, is it? Yeah.
Manchester by the Sea, and it's the most depressing film.
It's a great film, though. He's brilliant.
I hated that movie.
Really?
No, I like the idea of it. I was just not. I was in a sad mood, and then I tried to watch it.
Oh, it's just so depressing.
During like a lockdown.
I think I cried. He is so good. He's so much more talented than Ben. And Ben just gets such a raw deal of it because he's such a punchline and so hated. Do you know what I mean? And all he's done is just tried to make us happy with his movies.
Yeah, that back tattoo, though.
Is that real then?
Yes.
Because he had Jennifer Lopez was like trashing it in an interview before they got back together.
It's real.
I wonder if they're like, why did we split up? Why
the pressures of fame.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too much, isn't it? That's probably why we'll split up.
No.
We can't handle it anymore.
Well, people do talk about the pressures of fame. Nobody ever talks about the pressures of no fame.
Being invisible is
horrible. The pressures of being invisible and needing money.
People slam doors in your face. You can't eat.
Yeah. You're drowning in debt. Your wife hates you.
Yeah.
The pressures of fame. It's just like everyone's looking at me all the time.
Your kids look at the TV and go, I wish that was my dad when they see Dwayne The Rock Johnson or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. I know, I never get it. And they're like, yeah, it's so much pressure. It's like, you own an island. Go live there, you fucking idiot. Also, give it to me. I'll take it. I'd love to walk down the street. Well, you know, got stopped the other day for the pod, listening to the pod. Guy was listening to the pod, said, I'm listening to you right now. I said, thank you very much. But then it was weird because I wanted to follow him and just spend the day with him. Because it's never happened to me before, so I didn't know how to act. And I would be like, do you want to do a picture? Like, you know, he's like, no. You know.
Did you say that?
I didn't. But I was like, what next? I was so like, my eyes like lit up, and he just sort of got a bit creeped out.
Red,
like,
that's so pathetic. Wait, if you're the one who was listening.
He's called Hamish. I'm Dean Street. He said his name was Hamish. So thank you for that.
Hamish.
You literally made my day, and then I went to Margate and
Red,
fucking bombed.
So just be cool, Red.
Well, you got recognised by a homeless person who said she loves your work.
Yeah, loved me on stand-up sketch show.
And then a homeless guy said to me recently, he was like, you're on TV, aren't you? And I thought, I know he just means Jack Black, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, probably. I don't know.
Probably, because...
Or all homeless people love the stand-up sketch show on ITV too.
That'd be great.
At 11 o'clock on Monday nights.
All right. Shall we do the very last one?
Yeah, let's do the last one. Let's get pumped for this one.
This is the dick of the year.
Okay.
So, the dick of the year in 1866 is not a person.
It's a dick.
It's a famine.
What, cholera? No, cholera is not famine, sorry. Famine is no food. A famine, okay.
A famine. There was a famine in Finland.
Yeah.
You never think of the Finnish people as struggling.
Well, you don't
do
think of cold places having famines, do you?
Well, here's the problem.
Why not just go kill a seal?
So, parts of the country had poor harvests in previous years.
Wait, sorry. Parts of Finland, the frozen land, had poor harvest. What
they
were they
still
harvesting?
grow things.
What?
It's not. Have you ever
Mini
been to,
milks.
Have you been to Finland?
No.
It's not frozen 12 months a year. They still have crops. They still have a grow season.
Okay, what do they grow?
Or else nothing could live there, Red. How do you think they're eating if they're
Ice
there?
lollies.
No, they're growing.
No, I
things.
thought they'd eaten seals.
No,
Okay.
they can
they
grow
club
food
seals to
from the
death.
ground.
The children kill the seals as well.
Red, you're thinking of like farther north, I think,
Maybe, I don't know. I've heard Finland's cold.
like the Arctic,
I wouldn't go there without a jumper, that's for sure. Go on.
even in the summer. So parts of the country had suffered poor harvests in previous years, specifically 1862. Now, the summer of 1866 was extremely rainy. Sounds good, right?
In
Rainy.
the summer of 66. Yeah.
And staple crops failed widely. Too much rain. That's the problem.
Okay, got rid of 'em.
Potatoes, root vegetables rotted in fields. Conditions for sowing grain in the autumn were very unfavorable. When stored food ran out, thousands took to the roads to beg. So they had no food.
But from who? David Attenborough.
Other people who just don't have any food.
Fuck.
The following winter was hard. Then spring was late. So the problem was too cold, too wet. Okay? And then in Helsinki, the average temperature in May 1867 was plus 1.8 degrees Celsius and about 8 degrees Celsius below the long-time average, and by far the coldest May in meteorological record of Helsinki since observations began. So, it was fucking cold. Nothing was growing, and then people started
But could they not
starving.
just kill the animals? Kill their dogs, eat the dogs, kill the seals?
Yeah, but that's like a week.
No, a seal, you better be a greedy
There's
pig
no
if a
seals in Helsinki. I don't think you've been to Finland.
No, there's a sea around it, and you go
Red,
and
we
smash
have
a
Finnish
seal.
listeners. We're talking about the death of their great-grandparents.
Well,
We should be slightly respectful when talking about a famine that killed hundreds of thousands of people.
okay, I just don't know why they couldn't fish or anything.
Maybe if only you were there
I would
to
have.
guide them.
I would have come back into the town with a seal on my back.
Imagine you're in a country and millions of people are starving, and then you come in and you say, "Guys, have you thought of fishing?" And they go, "Wait, what? Why did no one tell us to fish?"
Yeah. No, they should have done. I've watched the programs, and you
The
shoot a polar bear in the head. That would last weeks.
The problem was the government of the Grand Duchy of Finland
Yeah.
was very ill-equipped to handle this crisis. There was no money readily available to import food from like Central European markets. The government was slow to recognize the severity of the situation. This is funny. The finance minister, Johann Wilhelm Snellman, a great name,
Yeah.
did not want to borrow. He didn't want to borrow money. But it's like, if there's ever a
Well, he's so
time
proud.
to borrow
Yes.
money.
Well, so every country's in debt. You know, America's like 20 trillion in debt. You're like, you just do it, max it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, it's so funny to be like, we don't want to borrow anything, so we're going to let all our people
I've never heard of a
starve.
famine in a cold country, ever. That's the first I've heard of it.
You've never heard of a famine in Russia?
Or Ireland.
That's
that
no,
well-known
but that's
tropical-
more political. That's not weather based. That'd be Stalin being a fucking dipshit.
But I'm sure the thing is,
Ireland.
Ireland, the well-known tropical island where they had the famine.
Yeah, but I'm talking like Finland's snow, Jody. I'm not talking about breeze.
You're telling me you've never heard of people starving to death in a completely inhospitable environment where it's impossible to grow things?
No, because they usually kill the animals and they fish. There's a lot of fish out there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like there are seals, in Finland.
You're
but
not all of
there's-
Finland, though.
But actually,
We'll go to
further
the shore
south than
then.
you would have thought. So, that Lake Saimaa, I think it's pronounced.
Yeah. There's not pineapples in England. I had one this morning. Go to the shore with a rock, lure them in.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people, Red.
Yeah, but there's probably, it's just... I'm not that
you're
sympathetic to
smarter
this.
than thousands of people who starved to death
In
in
1866, 100% smarter than all of them.
How would you wouldn't...
No, I just go, there's no food here. Where's the food? I get the megabus down to the ocean.
No megabus.
Okay, well, I'd get a horse and ride there with the huskies and stuff and loads of provisions.
No, someone's already eaten your dog, so you can't use huskies.
Okay, well, I'd just trek then. And then I'd go to the sea, I'd pick up a stone, I'd smash a seal in the head with it, make a barbecue, and eat the seal.
You heard it here first, folks. How to survive a famine with Red Richardson.
If you're cold and you're hungry, sort yourself out.
Follow Red around.
Yeah, just do that. Well, the dick of the year. Well, I'd say the Finnish people might be the dicks of the year.
That's no, Red. That's an insane thing to say. You literally now maybe can't go to Finland.
Did anyone listen to the podcast from Finland?
Well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
We really are, actually. They're not any gigs in Finland anyway, so I don't really give a shit.
I'm doing gigs in Finland in September. And
Oh, fuck. That's why you're towing the company line, isn't it?
I'm not towing there's not... What company...
You're a shill for the Finnish government.
Red, what company line is there when you're blaming people for them starving to death?
I'm just saying there's options. And don't think you don't have them.
I'm not saying there's not options. I'm just saying I don't think you know what they are. Okay, well, that is the episode.
We got a great Patreon after this, so we got some great stories from our listeners, so that's going to be great. So sign up if you haven't, because that's better than this, isn't it? It's a lot more fun.
I don't know about that, but
It's unfiltered. You find out who killed JFK for real. What happened in Diana's death, the night. There's loads of big secrets.
I think that was quite unfiltered when you blamed the Finnish people for their own starvation.
I'm just a resourceful man. Okay, well, see you next week.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Oh, and thank you to our super genius patrons, Matthew, Christopher, and the intense Spencer.
Lovely Spencer, the new Spencer.
We really appreciate it, and we couldn't do without you.
Thank you so much, Spencer and Matt and
Christopher. You really got in there with thank you, Red.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to an episode of The Year Is with me, comedian Bobby Mair, and my sometimes friend Red Richardson. This podcast has been produced by our brilliant producer, Jody Vandenberg. Thank you.